As some of you may know, my wife and I recently moved to Heidelberg. In moving here, I was unsure what to expect of the bike network. That said, I'm happy to say that Heidelberg is a hidden gem for biking in Germany. The city has over 260 kilometers of bike lanes, but critically, the network is mostly cohesive and doesn't always leave you guessing about what to do when changing direction. The winning of a Most Improved award proves that the city still has a long way to go before becoming a Dutch paradise, but also that it's made large strides in a short period of time. So don't worry, it won't all be glowing praise, and this will be far from my last video about cycling in Heidelberg. The bad will just have to wait. In this video, I've picked one of the major routes to highlight and show you several features of a good network overall. Starting near our apartment, we head towards the city. This is a new development using an old military base, so the cycle tracks are not yet complete. However, you can see the beginnings of raised intersections which will continue the cycle tracks across the streets, prioritizing bike and pedestrian traffic. After biking along the street, we reach the next step, an abandoned railway line which cuts like an expressway across the street grid. There are a few of these pathways in Heidelberg, actually we'll reach another one in just a moment, which utilize redundant freight throughways and junctions. In many places, they are also insect and wildlife habitats, in addition to just pathways. This takes us to the beginning of the raised cycle tracks, which are not bike lanes. Say it with me now, real slow. Raised cycle tracks are not bike lanes. In Heidelberg and most cities, these split sidewalks do most of the heavy lifting. I would point to these as the number one piece of missing infrastructure in the US preventing a bike revolution. Missing middle for housing, electrification for railways, and cycle tracks for biking. The cycle tracks also highlight several of the ways which intersections can be modified for making biking safer. Although maybe these are not the best examples because of how long it can take. Now we reach the edge of Südstadt, which is part of the older and prettier part of Heidelberg. This is considered a biking street and looks after the Dutch model of taking a quiet street, reducing or eliminating through traffic, and making it the primary route for cyclists. Aside from paint and bollards, not much else is needed. Residents don't complain, or at least not to me directly, and it makes their street quieter and critically does not prevent them from driving. Seeing as they're all likely to be rich boomers who can afford to pay Munich prices in a place where this is considered a mountain. As a fun side note, these trackers are so satisfying when they work and also help to justify politicians spending on bike infrastructure. Please beg your politicians to use them because they'll give you better data without having to pay consultants who are likely about as qualified as your average YouTuber. Approaching the old city, cycle tracks appear again and are wider. You can either end your journey here and walk down the world's longest pedestrian street, Hauptstraße, literally Main Street like in the US, so don't give me that bullshit that pedestrian zones can't work in the US because Germany is the center of the motoring world and somehow manages to have one of these Fußgängerzonen in every other small village and major city. Main Street is basically a giant shopping mall where people still live upstairs and there are still a few non-chain stores as well. Despite being amazing, they removed the trams, so you need to walk for 20 minutes, or you can do this. Take the other major bike street in Heidelberg. Top secret, don't tell anyone, but this street, which I haven't bothered to learn the name of... Wait a second. Pluk? Okay, anyways. This street is where more of the cool local stuff is, because thankfully the millions of Americans that visit us never bother to exit Main Street and miss out on the more local type stores, and half of the good restaurants in this part of the city. It is pretty great, but does highlight how sometimes shared streets are not the best. I have had quite a few close calls with tourists yeeting onto the street with no idea what a Fahrrad is, and probably they're the reason that I need new brakes. Anyways, that's biking in Heidelberg in a nutshell. There are more trails, cycle tracks, and things to show you, but that's for a longer video when I have a better computer to edit on. More on bike lanes coming soon, hopefully on branch rail lines as well, and also maybe nature in cities. Bye for now.